Keith, we have a dragnet out covering half the country. We're doing everything possible to locate the professor.
Of course you are. These are the federal agents who are to share the office until Professor Clayton is found. Mr. Evans, Mr. Worth, this is Professor Williams, associate of Professor Clayton.
Hello. How do you do?
Glad to know you, Professor Williams. I recall seeing your name on the report to the police.
Deplorable situation. Count on me for any assistance I can give.
Well, thank you. I understand you and Miss Keith accompanied Professor Clayton on a recent archaeological expedition to Abistan.
That's right.
Yes, I've been Professor Clayton's chief assistant for several years.
Well, suppose you tell me something about the expedition. Any incident that might be odd or suspicious.
I don't recall anything out of the way. We made a number of important discoveries, but they were purely of scientific value.
This is what I wanted to show you. I came upon it this morning quite by accident.
A statue.
Not just an ordinary statue, my dear. Note the two right hands. This is Kurigal the First, around whom all the legends and superstitions of ancient Abistan have originated.
An astonishing discovery.
This is merely an indication, a clue. The real discovery is yet to come.
Ah! Wait a minute!
What is it, Professor Clayton?
One of the objects I've been searching for, I hope. Golden hand. Ancient symbol of power and wealth as prophesied by Kurigal.
Let me see it. Aren't there age-old legends to the effect that there exists a pair of golden hands that clasp together exactly as seen on that statue?
Yes. Eternal token of peace and brotherhood. But there are many legends. Perhaps the strange markings and picture writing on this palm will explain them. I'll make a copy of the hieroglyphics.
We returned the golden hand to its resting place and departed, leaving everything just as we found it. Here's the copy Professor Clayton made of the inscriptions on the palm of the golden hand.
Can either of you decipher these hieroglyphics?
No.
Professor Clayton had intended to begin work on the translations just before he was kidnapped.
There may be a key among Professor Clayton's papers that'll help in the translation.
His notes on the expedition are filed in the storeroom. I could make a careful check through those.
Do that, please.
All right.
I'm going down to the car and get the rest of the equipment.
Fine. What was that?
Seems to be in the storage room. This way. Professor Williams!
Enter. Where is Williams? Didn't you get him?
Yeah. Barely got away myself with a federal man by the name of Dave Worth on my heels.
You're being well paid to accomplish results, Gordon.
Not well enough to risk my neck for something I don't know anything about.
Curiosity was not part of our bargain. You agreed to do your job and no questions asked.
Sure, but I quit when the Fed stepped into the picture. I don't like fighting them for something I don't understand. Either you let me in on your little game or I quit.
Come with me.
What's that thing?
A hand of solid gold. I've guarded it carefully ever since it secretly came into my possession, hoping that someday I'd find its mate.
It must be worth something.
It holds the secret of untold treasure in gold and jewels. Treasure whose lure can bring all the fanatic believers in its legend crawling obediently at my feet.
Now you're talking my language. Where's this treasure located?
Somewhere in Abistan.
Where do I come in?
You will help me with your connections. With such wealth, we'll be able to incorporate the underworld into an organization of followers such as this world has never known.
Underworld Incorporated, huh?
Underworld Incorporated.
Well, what are we waiting for? You've already got one of the hands. Let's get started.
It isn't quite that easy. Only the holder of both hands can learn its hiding place. According to information furnished by Professor Clayton, Williams holds that mate in his possession.
Maybe Clayton's lying.
A man doesn't lie with stark horror on his face and cold fear in his eyes.
I see what you mean. Don't worry. We'll figure out a way to get that other hand, or Williams, one of the two.
I already have it planned. The afternoon mail delivered to the museum will include a letter to Professor Williams.
Williams speaking.
Listen closely. Go to 209 Commercial Street tonight at 8 o'clock. Alone. Tell no one of these arrangements. Is that clear?
Yes.
This is an answer to that telegram you sent for me this morning. This may mean something. Abistan Council reports recent escape from country of dangerous subject. Female fanatic known as Nyla, believed to be in America.
Maybe she's linked with that hoodlum you tried to catch in the car.
Well, at least it's a lead to go on.
There were rumors of this, Nyla, during Professor Clayton's expedition. You remember Professor Williams?
Well, Nyla may be in this country because of that expedition.
I don't understand.
Well, she is classified as a fanatic, remember? And something evidently happened in Abistan to account for Clayton's kidnapping and the attack on Professor Williams. Oh, by the way, that reminds me, did you find anything in Clayton's papers that might give us a key to deciphering the hieroglyphics?
There on the desk. I've got to file these.
That's odd. I wonder what's wrong with Williams.
He seemed all right up till now. Do you think that blow he got on the head could have...
No, it wasn't hard enough. Did anything unusual happen while I was gone?
No, not that I know of. He and I were alone here until the afternoon mail delivery.
Well, there's something wrong. Well, these aren't Clayton's notes. There's nothing here.
Here's part of his mail. An invitation from the Archaeology Club.
That's strange. I didn't get one, and I'm usually invited.
Well, maybe this is a special occasion. It's marked RSVP. There's his reply.
Evidently, Professor Williams is planning to attend.
Hello, Archaeology Club? I'd like some information on a dinner you're sponsoring by mailed invitation. What? Oh, I see. Thank you. You weren't overlooked. The Archaeology Club is sponsoring no such dinner and sent out no invitations. This must be a fake. Faint odor, vaguely familiar. Evans and I'll take this down to the medical examiner's office. Phone ahead and ask him to wait. Otherwise, we may miss them. It's getting late.
Certainly.
Keep an eye on Williams while I'm gone. If he tries to leave, stall him.
I'll do my best.
Get going. We got to get back to the museum.
Okay, Dave, give. What did you and the medical examiner discover on that envelope besides an address?
Kulara, a rare oriental herb.
Never heard of it.
Very few people have. Listen. Kulara, a medicinal plant that dulls the mental processes, may incite fanatical strength. Used experimentally in 1891 by Johann Bieberman in surgery. Origin, ancient Abistan.
Abistan? Again, eh? Everything points to Professor Clayton and his expedition.
Evidently, the juice of the plant was smeared on the gummed flaps of the return envelope.
I see.
There is an antidote, however, and I have it. Step on it, Evans. We may be able to get some information out of Williams as he comes out of the trance.
Now this one, Professor.
I can't spare any more time. I'm leaving now.
He'll be all right. I just gave him an antidote. Williams. Williams. You were leaving. Where were you going?
209 Commercial Street.
Stay with him until I get back. I'm going to keep Professor Williams' appointment.
Say curiosity killed a cat. Maybe it could have the same effect on feds. This way. This isn't the man I expected, but he'll do. Frisk him. Lucky to get out of that blazing mess alive.
Now we're right back where we started.
It's not my fault that Dave Wolf showed up instead of Williams. Now I think we ought to
I'll make the plans, Gordon. There are a few facts about Professor Clayton and the Golden Hand that you don't quite understand.
I'm only interested in the treasure we'll find in Albistan when we get the other hand.
So am I, and the power it'll bring me. But right now we're in danger of losing all that.
I don't see why. All we have to do is grab Williams.
You're wrong, Gordon. Before anything else, we have to destroy every link between us and that guard you left at the warehouse.
Papers said he was dead when the fireman pulled him out, so what makes you think he'll do Dave Worth any good?
Even a dead man can be identified, and this one as an Abistonian.
So what?
That will lead Mr. Worth to the files at the Immigration Bureau. After that, tracing the rest of my followers would be a routine task.
Suppose I take care of those files before Dave Worth gets to them.
That is the general idea, Mr. Gordon.
Can you actually learn anything from all this?
Well, the clothes, the dust that come from them, the texture of the hair and the color of the skin, they all add up.
No doubt, but to what?
Well, the composite picture of the dead man and his background. Oh, Evans here has the answer, I hope.
It's come out pretty clear.
Well, there's one thing certain. The dead man we found in the warehouse was a foreigner.
That fact was obvious without all this hocus pocus.
And was it also obvious that he was from Abistan?
Abistan? You mean you can tell that from clothes, dust, and a picture?
Well, to tell the truth, no. But there was a scar on a dead man's forearm that appeared to be a tattoo mark covered over. By using infrared film and sensitized paper, I was able to bring out a picture of the original tattoo. And, as you see, the flag of Abistan.
Well, Dave, that ties right in with the Clayton affair.
Exactly. Now I'll have a look at the passport files at the Immigration Bureau, find out who he was. Then I'll have the police check to see who he associated with.
Which should, of course, go a long ways towards helping us find Professor Clayton.
I hope so.
The Immigration Bureau is closed at this hour.
Well, I'll stop by the inspector's house. I'll borrow his keys. I'll check with you later.
Got what we came after.
You mean what I came after? Hand over that folder. Oh, no, you don't. We'll take my car.
Sorry, copper. I'll take that gun. It's a little more effective than a monkey wrench. Start rolling.
Well, where do you want me to take you?
Straight ahead until I tell you to turn. We're going to stop you feds before you get started.
Who's we?
Why, that's Dave's voice.
What's the difference? You won't live long enough to make it matter. Someday we're going to incorporate the Underworld into an organization that'll make your federal outfit look like two pits.
Underworld Incorporated. Fancy title.
Turn left the next corner.
That takes us east on Maple, doesn't it?
It's Dave, all right. And he's in his car with the shortwave switch open.
Pull over to the curb.
Maple and Holcomb Street. A pier warehouse. So that's where you're taking me.
Stay close to the radio. I'm going after Dave.
Not very attractive, Gordon. You don't live right.
Maybe you won't live long. Inside. Tie him up.
Turn around.
Why don't we just tie him to an anchor and dump him in the harbor?
That's up to Nyla. Better just tie him up. I'll call her now.
Never that phone. We had it disconnected.
Oh, yeah. I'll find one down the block. Be right back.
Relax, copper. I got a nervous trigger finger.
Don't look now, but you've got company.
Truck and see if you can force them out of that corner. I'll keep you covered from over here.
Those feds are up to something.
Yeah.
And I'm having the Abistonian government check to see if the golden hand you found is still in the tomb. I have a hunch it's missing, and that Nyla came to this country convinced that either you or Professor Clayton have it.
That's ridiculous.
Perhaps. But Gordon is an American and a known criminal. I think he's collaborating with Nyla for a share of that treasure that the golden hand is supposed to bring to the holder.
Then we can look for continued attempts against Professor Williams.
Exactly. I'm having the museum guarded and placing you under protective custody until Nyla is caught.
Oh, but
Dave, a messenger just handed that to one of the guards.
To feds. The double-crossing rat you're hunting is holed up at 223 West 15th Street. A friend.
Looks like Gordon has an enemy in his own set.
Possibly. At any rate, this may be worth investigating.
I'll drive you down.
I must have the mate to this ancient symbol. Only through its secret writings can we inherit the wealth and power of Kurigul I. Only then can Underworld Incorporated become the vast empire we've dreamed of.
you'll have to dream up somebody else besides me to get Williams out of that museum.
I have. I've decided on a personal rendezvous with him.
You kidding? Every copper in the country's looking for you.
But the only one I fear is looking for you. And right now he should be at a vacant lot, miles away from the museum.
Nyla, what are you doing here? If you were found in this museum, you...
I'll take my risks. It's been a long time since our last meeting in Abistan. You have not lived up to your agreement.
I couldn't. I didn't get the hand.
Don't lie. You're the only person who could have taken the golden hand from Kurigul's tomb. I've come to claim it.
All right. I do have it. And I intend to keep it. Someday I may find its mate and locate the hidden treasure for myself.
I have its mate safely in my possession.
Possibly you'd like to give it to me. If I pick up this phone and summon the guards...
You wouldn't dare.
I'd dare a lot of things for that second golden hand.
Make one wrong move and you'll never learn its secret. Now, if we work together, you and I can be the two most powerful individuals on this earth.
If you can produce the other hand.
You don't have to take my word for it. I can lead you to it now.
That's impossible. I can't just walk out of here. As far as my freedom is concerned, I might as well be under arrest.
I came prepared for that. This potion, while harmless, will convince anyone you need immediate hospitalization. Drink up, Professor, to our success.
Wild goose chase. I never thought I'd fall for a wheeze that old.
We can't afford to pass up anything, Evans. It could have been a hot tip. Hey, look. The feds. See if Professor Williams is all right. Here, what's going on here? How do you feel, all right?
Okay.
Dave, Professor Williams was found unconscious by the scrub woman.
So that's why they wanted us out of the way. Nyla. Did the scrub woman call that ambulance?
Yeah, she told the guards it was coming and they let it through.
Pretty clever. Have the guards arrest that man. Come on, Evans. for that ambulance. Set up roadblocks at every exit within the vicinity.
Calling 135. Calling 135. Calling Highway Patrol.
State Police Headquarters, calling all cars, calling all cars. Be on the lookout for an ambulance. Last seen traveling east on Highway 106.
What happened? Where are you taking me?
I'm taking you to Nyla, Professor. Everything's going to be all right.
Calling 137. Calling 137.
Cars, be on the lookout for the ambulance. Still headed east on 106. Set up roadblocks at all intersections.
You hear that? They'll have this roadblock too. We won't stand a chance.
That's what they think. I'm going back to that junction we just passed and head over Elm Ridge for the backcountry.
Was just seen leaving Highway 106 and is now headed north on 42.
That's a break for us. There's a cutoff ahead over Elm Ridge. That'll take us to 42.
There's the Elm Ridge cutoff ahead.
The end of Dave Worthby's in that car. Get ready to jump, Professor. Back door. Okay, Professor, jump! It's running wild. Jump!
We'd better see how Williams is.
Any luck?
No, none at all.
What do you expect to find?
I don't know exactly, but this business of William's sickness doesn't add up. Seems to me he must have, Oh, hello, Professor.
Good morning.
How are you feeling?
Not bad at all. That night's rest in the hospital did me a world of good.
I'm glad. Well, there's work to be done.
Oh, about yesterday, Professor. Isn't there something unusual that you remember that might help us get to the bottom of this business?
No, nothing. Nothing at all.
That's strange. The hospital report shows that you were under the influence of a heart depressant. That doesn't affect the memory.
My memory's all right. You asked if anything unusual happened, and there was nothing unusual.
Oh, I see. Did you have any visitors? The scrub woman, for instance.
A scrub woman? Why her, of all people?
Because the real scrub woman was slugged and thrown into a closet. Perhaps by Nyla herself.
And you think that now she's after me just because I went on that expedition with Professor Clayton?
The Abistan government reports the golden hand found on that expedition is missing. Maybe Nyla believes you have it.
That's ridiculous. I tell you, I'm getting tired of being subjected to all this suspicion and danger.
Now, take it easy, Professor. We're only trying to do everything we can to help you. Hey, look at this.
Looks like your scrub woman fell down on her job.
I agree with you. And I mean Nyla. Unless I'm mistaken, this paper contained the powder that made you sick. Did you drink anything yesterday?
No, nothing but water. I hope you know what you're doing. It's all too deep for me.
I do.
Williams is essential to our plans.
Next two of them we got to worry about. Dave Worth and Williams.
No, only Worth. Williams is a necessity and ally.
Really don't believe that smooth-talking conniver will follow through, do you?
He'll contact me. He has no other choice. He has one of the golden hands. I have the other. Our prisoner, Professor Clayton, isn't lying. He knows that Williams had both opportunity and ability to steal it from the tombs of Abistan.
I'll bite on that when I see which way Williams plays ball.
Yes.
Nyla, this is Williams.
Yes, go ahead, Williams. Very well. You remain at the museum until you hear from me. Worth just left the museum with a small paper wrapper he found on an ashtray.
That's what I call exciting news.
That paper contains the powder I gave to Williams.
A lot of good that'll do Worth.
He can learn the nature of the powder and trace it to the purchaser.
Yeah, he could at that.
The golden hand of Abistan is at stake, and so are our lives. You must act quickly before Worth can complete his information. I want you to go.
At last we're on the track of something. Let's go, Evans. Straight ahead. That paper wrapper was far more important than Williams thought. It contained traces of Barnaric.
Barnaric? Doesn't tell me a thing.
A little chemical analysis in that last phone call I made told me plenty. The powder can't be sold without a permit, and there's a record of only one recent sale in this entire district.
I'd sure like to know who made the purchase.
We'll soon find that out. I have permission to go through the sales record files of the Hunter Chemical Company.
It's the feds.
I'm out of ammunition. How many have you got?
Oh, I've got 2 or 3 left.
I'm going to do something about it. Well, it looks like we've got what they came after. Here, give me a hand. It's the Barnaric registration we're looking for. Should be among these cards.
Here it is, Dave.
100 grams Barnaric. Kurt Bowers, name of purchaser.
That's our guy.
27 Fairview Road. Come on, let's step on it.
Gordon calling. Gordon calling. Come in, please.
This is Nyla. Go ahead.
The Fed stopped us from getting that file. I tried to.
Never mind the explanation. That means they can locate our chemist.
That's where they get fooled. He's out of town.
His chemical and lab equipment are still at that address, and papers that can connect him with us.
Yeah, that's right. I better get out there right away.
I'll contact Haskell, our pilot, to fly out and help you. And hurry.
Check.
There's a gun and some shells in that compartment. Better get it out. You might need it.
Well, this is the last of it. Now, if those smart feds do get this far, we'll... It's worth. I'll make a break for the car and draw their fire. You get this stuff loaded on the plane and clear out.
That plane is getting away. Let's block his takeoff.
We'll crash!
Well, we'll never find out anything from this mess. Let's go back and see what happened to Gordon. Well, I guess he's disappeared completely.
And this leaves us without a lead to Nyla and her gang of cutthroats.
Not exactly. Who else besides Williams knew that we were going to follow up this clue on the powder wrapper?
No one that I can remember.
Then it must have been Williams who tipped off Nyla.
And that means that he's involved with that gang and the disappearance of Professor Clayton.
Exactly. There's a phone. I'll call Laura and have her pick us up here. Then we'll pay Professor Williams a visit.
Calling Nyla. Calling Nyla. This is Gordon. Answer, please.
This is Nyla. Go ahead, Gordon.
Dave Worth cracked up Haskell's plane.
What about the chemicals?
You don't don't need to worry about them anymore. But you've got to do something about Worth. He suspects Williams.
Where is he now?
Out at the airfield, waiting to be picked up.
Very well. You come here immediately. I'll see that Worth is delayed.
Check.
It's hard to believe Professor Williams is tied in with Nyla.
Still, the promise of the fabulous treasures of Kurigal could be very tempting. Hey, look out! You having trouble, fellas? Another one of Nyla's tricks.
But how could she have known we were coming this way?
Who was in that office when I phoned you?
Professor Williams?
Further proof that the eminent professor sold out.
Yeah, but how are you going to prove it?
Well, it won't be easy. Evans and I'll take this mug in the truck back to town. I'll have a talk with Williams. Maybe I can trick him into a confession.
Right. I'll see you at the museum.
All right.
In my native land, there are men of strange powers who have mastered the art of defying death 1,000 ways. But these American federal agents have no such powers. Dave Worth and the others like him can be crushed. Like that.
Well, at least they can be sidetracked. With that chemical equipment destroyed, Worth won't be beating any paths to our door.
Very comforting.
Sure, it's comforting. Now that we're in the clear, we can concentrate on Williams.
Exactly. And so can Dave Worth. He already suspects Williams. That endangers my chances of possessing the mate to the golden hand and learning its message through the secret writings. It also endangers your chances of sharing the treasure and incorporating the Underworld into an all-powerful organization.
It can't be that bad. Williams isn't fool enough to spill all he knows.
Not unless he's cornered.
I thought you trusted him.
Up to a point, but Williams is a coward. Worth can pressure information from him.
And our job right now is to see that Worth doesn't crack him.
I've arranged for that already. And at the same time to incriminate Williams in such a manner that he'll be forced to comply with any demand I make on him.
How did you arrange that?
Through a package that's being delivered to him at the museum. Professor Williams, I have reason to believe that Dave Worth suspects your connection with the disappearance of the Golden Hand. The time has come when you must either take bold action against him or face public disgrace and criminal punishment.
Think that mug's telling the truth?
It's obvious from his record he's a two-bit hoodlum hired for the job. He knows Gordon, of course, but then, so do we. And neither of us knows where to locate him.
Yeah. The guy who owned that truck they stole for the job could have at least driven us back to the museum after we got it back for him.
Oh, well. We can pick up my car. The garage is only a few blocks down the street. I see it. Williams must have taken the golden hand after Professor Clayton found it on their Abistan expedition. Then Nyla had Professor Clayton kidnapped, thinking he was the thief. Do you think Clayton is still alive? It's our job to find out. Maybe Williams has that answer, too.
Try to evade Worth's questioning. But if you feel you're trapped, use this box. Tell him it contains the golden hand of Abistan. 10 seconds after Worth opens this box, he'll be permanently out of your way.
Oh, Evans, you wait here in case Williams makes a break for it.
Right.
Hello, Worth. Having any luck?
Quite a bit.
For instance, I know where the Bernaric came from that was used on you.
I'm glad to hear it.
You'll hear a lot more in court.
What is this, a frame-up?
There's a certain witness that could testify that you killed Professor Clayton to gain possession of the golden hand of Abistan.
I had nothing to do with Clayton's disappearance.
And the golden hand? Who stole it from the Tomb of Kings in Abistan?
It wasn't theft. Archaeologists take that sort of thing as their right. Relics of the ancients belong to the scientists who find them.
Where is the golden hand?
It's here, in this room.
Get it.
All right.
Wait a minute.
I'll be glad to get rid of the thing. There's a curse on everyone that's handled it. Golden hand's in there. Look at it. And then take the accursed thing out of here. I never want to see it again. It came from the basement. The men are unpacking some specimens.
Oh. What happened, Laura?
I interrupted Williams as he was playing the record he got from Nyla.
So he nabbed you and threw you in here?
That's right. And in here I heard the rest of the record. It was Nyla telling Williams how to trap you into opening that box.
It's amazing what goes on in that woman's mind. But this time she only succeeded in killing one of her own agents. Oh, don't feel too badly about him, Laura. After all, he did steal a golden hand. And he was involved in kidnapping Professor Clayton.
Yes, that's right.
You know, those notes and records he kept should be of some value to us.
I mean, something that might lead us to Nyla and Underworld Incorporated.
Yes. Or bring them to me. That's it. Bring them to me. Now, this is how we'll work it.
So while the police are intensifying the search, Federal Agent Worth has ordered a translation of the dead man's papers in the hope that they will furnish a lead to the kidnapped Clayton. Police, meanwhile, are anxious to...
What are you afraid of? They'll never find Clayton.
But Williams' papers may tell them where to find the golden hand of Aveston.
I never thought of that.
Well, you better think about it. Without the mate to that hand in my possession, the treasure of Kurgal is lost to us forever. You get those papers before they're translated.
Oh, sure. I'll just walk right by the guards at the museum and pick them up.
Since Williams no longer needs protection, the guards have been withdrawn. Now, tonight, you go to...
Leave the door open till I find a light.
Never mind. It's right here. Glad to see you snap at our bait, Gordon. From our broadcast, you must have thought we could really translate Williams' papers.
You mean you can't do it?
But Clayton can. And you're going to take us to him.
What makes you think I know where Clayton is?
Stalling won't make this rap any easier for you, Gordon.
Okay. You win.
Get going. They've locked the door.
Dave?
Laura, are the keys out there?
Yes.
Open up, quickly. Did you see those two men escaping?
No, they must have gone out the back way.
Right back where we started.
Maybe not, Dave.
What do you mean?
I've just been reviewing my notes for correspondence Professor Clayton dictated before the Aveston expedition.
Yes, go on.
2 or 3 letters were to a Professor Graves.
What were they about?
The expedition. Professor Clayton acknowledged Graves as the foremost authority on ancient Aveston culture and language.
An authority on language, eh? Where is this Professor Graves?
At Upland University.
You know, if he can translate Williams' papers for us, he's the man we're after. Oh, operator, I'd like to speak to a Professor Graves at Upland University. Right.
Find out anything?
Yes. A little pressure on our ex-guest, Professor Clayton, prompted him to reveal an interesting fact.
Yeah?
There's one other man capable of translating Williams' papers. A Professor Graves.
Think Worth might try to contact him?
He already has. My agents there report Graves is scheduled to leave for the museum aboard the Western Flyer.
Well, he'll be here in the morning unless we do something about it.
Exactly. That's why I want you to fly to Greenville and get aboard the Overland Limited.
You just said he'd be aboard the Western Flyer.
He will receive a message, presumably from Worth, instructing him to change his plan. The Western Flyer is a through train, but you'll be able to get aboard the Limited.
Professor Graves. We'll give him a couple of minutes to get back to his drawing room, and then we'll move in.
There. Everything's in order for Professor Graves when he arrives tomorrow.
Williams' notes are all there, ready for him to begin work.
Just arrived. Addressed to you, Dave.
Oh, it's from Graves. Received your message. Will take Overland Limited. Arrive 4 p.m. This doesn't add up. I sent no message about switching trains.
The telegram says you did.
Well, no doubt Graves did get a message. But since I didn't send it, it must have been sent by Nyla. Give me that phone. Union Station, dispatcher's office. Hurry. Hello? This is Worth, federal agent. I've got to get a message aboard the Overland Limited. Oh, it did? The Limited just cleared Timber Creek Junction, the last telegraphic point between here and that train.
Which means Graves can't be warned if he is in danger.
Not unless I can intercept that Limited.
I have it. The two-place plane I used on reconnaissance work during the Clayton expedition.
Well, let's go. I'll see you later, Evans.
afraid Nyla's men would try to stop you, Professor Graves.
I appreciate your concern. But evidently, since I'm here in the flesh, it seems that your fears were groundless.
I suppose so. Anyway, you're here, and these are William's notes on the expedition.
They seem to be written in a very obscure Abystonian code.
And I believe some reference is made to the golden hands.
You mean the ones from the tomb of Kurigal I?
Yes. And to bring you up to date, Professor Graves, Williams admitted taking one of the hands during the Clayton expedition.
And we're sure Nyla has the other one.
Do you really believe the legends about those hands?
Nyla and her underworld associates have already kidnapped Professor Clayton and caused the death of Professor Williams in order to get the golden hands. She believes in the legends, and I'm quite sure she wouldn't stop at anything to get the hand that Williams took.
Your work may prevent her from committing any more crimes.
Well, it'd take a little time.
Take all the time you want, Professor. We have a few errands to do.
Say, Dave, what are those errands we had to do?
Oh, I'm sorry, Laura. I was just,
What's bothering you?
Well, it's that change of trains. I don't like the way Graves passed it off so lightly.
You can't doubt his honesty. After all, he's a man of some standing. Professor, lecturer, explorer, author.
Author, that's it. So let's go to a library. Maybe we can find out more about him.
Sure, it's only a couple of blocks.
Laura, look at that.
It says Professor Graves. But this isn't the man.
That's right. And that distinguished-looking character we left up in our office is a fraud. I only hope we're not too late to find out who he really is.
Hello. Yeah, this is Gordon. What's up, Mac? Key. Sure, bring it along with these papers. We'll find out what it fits. Okay, Mac. Yeah, there's a convertible parked outside the museum. Keys are in it. Better get out of there before that flatfoot comes back.
Right, I'm leaving now.
Dave, the professor.
Professor Graves!
killed in the crack-up. However, a briefcase containing all the property stolen from the museum was blown clear of the wreckage and recovered by ace investigator Dave Worth.
No wonder Mac didn't show up.
But the key he found wasn't even mentioned.
Maybe it was destroyed in the fire.
Well, let's hope not. I'm convinced it will lead us to the golden hand William stole from the tomb of Kurigal. Without it, we cannot find the treasure we need to organize the underworld.
If those feds have that key, we might as well give up.
On the contrary, Gordon, if they have the key, we're in luck. We had no way of finding the locket fit.
If they do.
So we'll let them locate it for us.
I get it. Keep a shadow on Worth until he leads us to it, huh?
Exactly.
That does it. The last catalog of the last lock manufacturer are in America. And not one of them correspond with the number of that key found in the briefcase.
Not so fast, Evans. You forgot this one. Locksmith's Catalog of American Meat Lockers.
Catalogs, keys, findings, professors, scientific methods. I tell you, Dave, the only way to bust up Gordon's gang is with a nightstick.
Here, I have it. A locker at the Consolidated Meatpacking Plant. That may produce more results than all the nightsticks we could muster.
Are you going down there now?
You bet I am.
I'll drive you down.
They've got the hand. Let's get over there. I'll take that box. Get the box! Clear out of here! Handcuff those guys. I'm going after Laura.
Keith got away with a golden hand.
What? I told Gordon to be prepared for an emergency. Put him on.
He's not here. They got him, too. I found out Worth has taken him to the museum for questioning.
Wait at the usual place for further orders. I'll take care of this matter myself. Worth may find he's made a very serious mistake.
And you kidnapped Clayton because Nyla believed he smuggled his golden hand out of the ancient Abistan tombs.
Why?
Because both hands would give her complete domination over Abistan and unlock the long-lost treasures of her ancestors.
You joined her for a share in that treasure.
What did Nyla do with Clayton?
Ask her.
I intend to. You'll save yourself a lot of grief, Gordon.
Dave.
All right, take him into the other room until he's ready to talk.
Come along, chum.
So Gordon's lawyer's here to see his client. He didn't waste much time, did he?
He must have heard the early news broadcast reporting Gordon's capture.
Send Mr. Chambers in, Laura. Come on here, Evans.
Inspector Worth, I'm Frank Chambers, attorney at law. I demand the right to see my client, Spade Gordon.
Very well. Wait a minute.
How do you suppose that got in there?
Carrying concealed weapons. Turn him over to the police. Wait a minute. Mr. Chambers gives me an idea. Sit down and write what I dictate. Start writing, or are we going to play some more?
All right.
Spade. This will introduce.
Glorious to see you, Gordon. 5 minutes, no more.
I'm Bradbury Lee of Lee and Chambers.
Never heard of you.
Then perhaps this will explain.
Spade. This will introduce my associate, Bradbury Lee. Nyla retained us to help you. Follow his advice without question. Frank Chambers. Okay, I'm listening.
Do you know where the golden hand is?
Sure. It's in a box on Worth's desk.
Good. When I leave, send for something. Whoever brings it, get the drop on him and take his keys. Grab the golden hand on the way out, and there'll be a car waiting for you outside.
Sure.
I'm ready to leave.
Did Gordon fall for it? Hook, line, and sinker.
that long to wait. Open up. I'm ready to talk.
Okay, Gordon.
Don't move.
Where'd you get that?
Try guessing. Give me those keys.
He must be on his way by now.
Well, what do you know? Gordon escaped with the golden hand.
How could he miss? We'll give him a good start and then get busy. Well, Gordon ought to feel safely out of reach by now. Let's get going.
Yes.
I called your place, and when nobody answered, I tried this number. What do you want me?
I told the lawyer to tell you I'd meet you here.
I guess you forgot. I got the golden hand.
Bring it to me at once.
Right. See ya.
I'm getting a north by east indication. Turn left at the next corner.
Worked like a charm. Here's the prize package.
Why, you stupid idiot, this is not the golden hand. This is one of Worth's tricks.
What is it?
It's a high-frequency transmitter.
You mean one of those locator devices?
Exactly, and Worth is probably on his way here now.
Better clear out of here.
No. I need Worth too much to run away from him. I've got to force him to reveal where the golden hand is hidden.
What do we do now?
We wait for Mr. Worth.
Drop that gun, copper. Come in.
Smart rod man always checks his gun before he uses it. I loaded that myself with blanks.
Don't move. This one's loaded. Dave Worth, I believe.
And you're Nyla. What do you want?
The golden hand of Abistan.
I don't have it with me.
But you'll get it. Or it'll be your last meeting with anyone.
I think you mean what you say.
You're to call Laura Keith and tell her to deliver the golden hand to a messenger that'll be waiting on the corner of 4th and Main Streets. But remember, one false word and... well, I think you understand.
Call her.
need the golden hand, but I can't come for it. Have Evans bring it to 4th and Main Street. I'll have a messenger waiting for it there.
But Dave...
Well, Mr. Worth, now that I'll soon have the golden hand, I no longer need you.
You've got hands. Raise them. Now back up against that wall.
Keep an eye on these two. I'm gonna look around the place.
They gave us the slip again.
Maybe not. So that's what she hit me with. It's a very effective weapon in a woman's hands.
How will that tell us where she's gone?
It won't, but it may tell us where she's been, depending on a lab report. This may be the Achilles heel that can trap her. This has covered a lot of ground. Very interesting ground, too. There are tiny particles of moss on it and some water grass. Nyla has recently been walking in a swamp area.
Too bad she didn't step into quicksand up to her neck. Then she wouldn't move so fast.
Why, Laura, you're beginning to talk like a good federal agent. But seriously, does the museum have a map of this area?
I think so. Let's look. Here we are.
There's only one locality within a radius of 50 miles that contains a swamp, and that's this West End.
Then that may be the region from which Nyla and her agents are operating, and where they may be holding Professor Clayton.
I hope we'll find him there.
Don't bother to clean the office now.
Very well, ma'am. He's new here, isn't he?
Yes, we hired him this morning. Our regular porter met with an accident last night.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Worth speaking.
Everything's all set.
Fine, I'll meet you outside the station. We've got some exploring to do.
I'll be waiting.
Good. Well, that ought to take care of the golden hand.
What do you mean? I thought it was still here.
Oh, no, I'm sending it to headquarters by special courier. He leaves on the Seacoast Express this afternoon. Evans has spotted federal men throughout the station just in case Nyla or Gordon find out what we were doing.
I'll be glad when it's placed safely beyond Nyla's reach.
So will I. Well, I've got to meet Evans. I'll see you later.
Well, there goes the golden hand and our chances of getting it.
No, you're wrong, Gordon. Inadvertently, Worth is placing it well within my reach. I've traveled on the Seacoast Express. Their routine is to pick up the dining car on a siding outside the yard. I will be on that dining car when it's attached to the train.
Good idea.
Then with both golden hands in my possession, I will return to Abistan in triumph.
Not without me, you don't. Once we get our hands on that treasure, it'll be a cinch to incorporate the Underworld into one organization, with us at the head.
All right, Gordon. We'll have no further use for this place. Destroy every shred of evidence here. And meet me at the Mottville station.
Okay.
harmless enough to be suspicious. Come on. Burning your old love letters, Gordon? Or is it something personal? Drop that drawer. Frisk him, Evans.
Well, he's gone.
Yeah, and so is Nyla.
He'll never tell us anything.
No, but something in this shack might. Let's start looking. And outside that henchman's body and a few burnt-out papers, the shack contained nothing. Not the slightest hint of what's become of Nyla.
Dave,
What is it?
our courier has been found unconscious aboard the Seacoast Express, and the golden hand he was guarding has disappeared. The message was dispatched from the train.
Nyla again.
I hope so. A railroad detective discovered a woman answering Nyla's description aboard the train, minus a ticket. I wired him to detain her at Montville Station.
How soon does that train pull in?
In about 38 minutes.
Montville is 60 miles from here.
Let's go, Evans.
Everything's working out for us. Let's get going.
Do you know this woman?
What's it to you?
I'm Detective O'Hara.
Why, you...
Are you O'Hara?
Yes.
We're federal agents, Worth and Evans. What happened to your prisoner?
A man drove up, and before I realized what happened, he jumped me.
Where are they now?
I don't know. I guess it was knocked out for a minute.
They must have been in that car that drove away as we came up. Come on.
What are you worried about? You've got the golden hand, so relax, will you?
I'll never relax till I'm safe in Avestan, and the ancient hieroglyphics on the two golden hands are translated. Only then will we know where Kurigal hid his wealth. There's a car tailing us.
Not for long.
must have spotted us. Speed her up.
They're gaining on us.
Bomb will stop them in the glove compartment.
And I made a thorough search with the help of the local police. But Nyla and Gordon seemed to have vanished into thin air.
Then everything ends right there.
Oh, no. Nyla still has to go back to Abistan to secure the treasures of Kurigal. So I've alerted the coast areas, airports and seaports. Evans is in contact with them now.
I see. But what about Professor Clayton?
Oh, we haven't forgotten about the professor. After all, it was his disappearance that brought us into the case. However, I was convinced that Nyla was behind his disappearance the night I went to the Immigration Bureau for the files on the Abistanian aliens in this country.
Got what we came after.
You mean what I came after? Hand over that folder. Take my car. Subsequently, it was proven that Gordon was working with Nyla. Therefore, in order to find Professor Clayton, I must first locate her.
You'll have to do some fast traveling for that.
Why? What happened?
A private seaplane base in Florida reported a stolen plane. The radar monitors picked it up winging across the Atlantic in a beeline for Abistan.
I'm following on the next clipper. I'll phone the...
I took the liberty of getting you reservations.
Good work, Evans.
Locating Nyla in Abistan will be difficult, Dave. It's rough, treacherous country for anyone not familiar with it. You should have a guide.
That's why I'm asking you to go with me. Well, you know the language and the country and the people. Now, with your help, I'll find Nyla and Professor Clayton.
But I only made reservations for 2.
That's all right, Evans. I want you to stay here as a base contact. Your first job is to wire ahead and have a small plane ready for us at the Cairo airport.
I'll get right on it. Happy landings.
I have brought the 2 golden hands back to Abistan. The rest is up to you, Professor Clayton.
Well done, Nyla. You and I at last hold the key to the greatest treasure in the history of the world.
Wait a minute, Professor. I don't like this you and I talk. After all, it was me that engineered your phony kidnapping and risked my neck doing all the dirty work. What about our plans for Underworld Incorporated?
You'll be properly rewarded, Gordon. But your share might have been greater. My orders have been carried out more swiftly. A task that I'd estimated at a few days ran into weeks. Weeks that I waited in these tombs, unable to...
Look, Clayton, my job was to get a hold of Williams and force him to give us the golden hand he had. It would have been easy. This federal man, Dave Worth, hadn't cut in on our game that afternoon at the museum.
What was that?
Seems to be in the storage room. This way. Professor Williams!
But he landed safely.
I'd hardly call Worth a fool. He sounds dangerous.
He is dangerous. By the use of a drug, I got control of Williams' mental processes and arranged an appointment with him in an abandoned warehouse.
Who do you think kept the appointment? This isn't the man I expected, but he'll do. Frisk him. Lucky stiff landed in the net as though the act had been rehearsed.
It doesn't sound as though this man Worth would have dropped the trail. He could have followed you here.
He has followed me. He landed in Cairo 4 hours ago, and all routes leading into Abistan are being watched by my people.
The American plane has crossed the borders, Nyla.
Start the translation. I'll see that Worth is taken care of.
That plane we saw back there is following us.
Nyla's on the job, all right. We'll land in 5 minutes.
Dave, the plane's on fire!
Have jammed.
Well, at least we landed near the tombs.
Where are they?
Right over there.
Do you know how to get inside?
Yes, but it's hallowed ground to the natives, so we'll have to be careful.
Well, let's go.
And I'm positive that the hieroglyphics on these hands will decipher into an obsolete language, which will still need translating. I must have more time.
Nyla! Dave Worth and that girl escaped from their plane.
Escaped? How?
By parachute. They landed somewhere near here in the valley.
I advise you to leave here at once. Perhaps to your retreat in the hills.
Good suggestion. But remember, Clayton, I'll be back soon. Be sure your work is completed.
Perhaps it will be. Ali, quickly. Somewhere near the statue of Kurgal I are buried 4 stone tablets, inscribed with directions for the placing of these golden hands.
How do you know that?
The completed translations have told me.
But didn't you tell Nyla?
I lied to her, because I'm sure she planned to kill me the moment my work was finished. The hidden treasure will be mine, but the lost power of unity and leadership will be placed in your hands alone, Ali.
I would rule over the peoples of Abistan?
Under my supervision, of course. Now start digging. I have some notes to finish.
Anyway, straight.
I'll have to get around those guards without arousing anyone inside. You stay here.
getting close. The tomb is just around the next bend. What's the matter, Dave?
Some natives digging in front of a big statue.
That's the tomb of the kings. If they're excavating for the treasure, that means that Nyla's already been here. He's translated the secret of the golden hands.
She's not there now.
She may be in one of the other chambers. We'll have to pass that entrance in order to continue our search.
All right, but be careful. If I have to use my gun, Nyla will be warned of our presence. Where's Nyla?
Malaga, Isabella. The infidels tried to surprise us, but we overpowered them. And now they await your disposal, Professor.
I think that can be arranged for our benefit. Allie, you now have 3 prisoners.
3?
Yes, I'm the 3rd. Have Worth and the young lady brought to the cell. Before they get there, I will...
Sure.
What did he say?
Something about reporting our capture to Nyla.
I wonder who this poor devil is.
Professor Clayton.
I prayed this wouldn't happen to you, Laura. You're Dave Worth?
Yes, but how did you know we were in Abistan?
I was listening at the door of my cell, and Gordon reported to Nyla here.
Your cell? Have you been prisoner here since you were kidnapped from the museum?
Yes. Before I'll disclose a secret that could place all the peoples of Abistan under Nyla's evil domination, I'll die here.
Oh, we won't let you. Now that we know you're alive, we'll find some way of setting you free.
Is there only one way out?
I once thought so. But my research has disclosed a private passage used by the ancient rulers of Abistan. It was sealed and abandoned centuries ago.
Have you found that passage?
I even unsealed it.
And you made no effort to get away?
But while working, I hurt my leg. I had to abandon any attempt at escape then. Lately, I've been kept in chains.
It's up to us, Dave.
We'll have to get out of these bindings first.
Well, I can help you. And I have a plan. Nyla's at our hideout, waiting to hear of your capture. All of her tribesmen will be away searching for you. You could easily overpower her single-handed.
But those 2 diggers who left here are already on their way to report to her.
They're traveling on horseback. If you can slip out through the secret passage, you'll find a station wagon that Nyla keeps concealed in the shrubbery.
Where's her hideout?
Cross Dragon's Gorge to the north. There's only one trail.
That's all we need to know.
When you get out into the tunnel, turn left. The secret passage leads off the side tunnel. Hurry. It's our only chance.
I was hoping we'd reach the gorge before nightfall.
Well, according to directions, it can't be very far now. This darkness might prove useful in closing in on Nyla.
What is it?
A lookout reports my station wagon approaching Dragon's Gorge across the valley. There are 2 people in it. A man and a woman.
Worth and Laura Keith.
I believe so. My tribesmen will reach the bridge before them.
Ahead, Dave. That must be the gorge.
Yeah.
Dave, back up! Planning to collapse that bridge, Dave. But how could Nyla have known in advance that we were going to use it?
They spotted our station wagon in time for her to prepare an ambush. Quick, behind those rocks.
Water has done its work well. Nyla will be pleased. Where's Nyla? Where's her hideout? Near the Painted Rock.
Keep talking.
4 miles due east.
At last we can contact the authorities.
No time for that, Laura. What would Nyla do if she found out Professor Clayton put us on her trail?
She'd probably force them into finishing the translations at once. She might even resort to torture.
Exactly. The only way we can save Professor Clayton is to get to Nyla's hideout before she can make the next move.
It's probably well guarded. We'd be recognized before we got within sight of it.
Not if they thought we were natives. Take off that burnoose. Now the gun belt and sash. Sit down.
What gives? You should have heard something about Worth and that Keith girl by now.
Patience, Gordon.
They probably have some horses on the other side of that slope.
Well, let's go. These two will be out of mischief for a while.
guards were attacked by Worth and Miss Keith, who left in disguise for my camp.
The camp is being aroused. They probably discovered we've escaped.
It's too late to back out now. Come on, let's go.
Here, you two stick by us.
With pleasure, Nyla. Get Gordon's gun, Laura.
Holly Malooka!
Get in that car, quickly. All right, head for the tombs.
Alec, I found the answer. The stone blocks we uncovered represent the key to the treasure. They symbolize the compass. According to the translated instructions, north and east blocks must be reversed.
All right, get up.
What next, Master?
I'm not sure yet. The compass design is complete.
Look!
That's it, Allie. That's the key. The golden hands are to replace the stone ones. Then the statue will move aside, revealing the ancient treasures. We should fill in the pit, else the statue will crash from its pedestal. But we haven't time. Worth. Laura, I hardly expected to see you so soon.
We hardly expected to see you up and around like this.
I found Allie to be a trusted friend. He released me from that cell.
We brought you some company. I'm going to need your testimony to prosecute Nyla and Gordon.
Gladly. And I feel it my duty to reveal how this villainous woman and her accomplice were forcing me to decipher the Golden Hand hieroglyphics for their own selfish ends. They were scheming to steal the treasure and use it to incorporate the underworld into a terrible...
You lying mongrel! Why don't you ask him who originally sought the Golden Hands and who planned his supposed kidnapping? I can tell you. Clayton maneuvered this whole plot.
Have you a gun, Professor?
Yes, I kept it concealed in case of emergency.
May I see it, please?
Certainly.
That's all, Professor. Take your place beside Nyla.
But Dave, you can't actually think that...
I'm through thinking, and this time I know. A man confined to chains in a cell couldn't possibly keep a gun concealed without being free to come and go as he pleases.
So you believe Nyla?
I believe a lot of things. During your expedition, you found out about Nyla. You used her to further your master plan. But that plan failed. Now there's a nice, neat punishment waiting for all of you.
No. These infidels have invaded the tomb of your king. They plan to steal his wealth and bring disgrace on your heads. I am your true leader. Rise against them before it's too late.
Allie!
orders now. You've caused me many tortured hours, but the power and wealth of Kurrigal will be mine at last, by right of conquest. For Clayton, I decree a merciful death. As for you and Miss Keith, I have a more ominous fate in store. Look out!
In seeking to destroy others, Nyla only succeeded in destroying herself. Oh, no, you don't. You're the one remaining link in this unholy alliance. You'll be needed in Washington to close this case.
But what about the lost treasure of Kurrigal?
Well, if there is one, and there may be, it'll be claimed by law and used to benefit humanity. Even ancient legend bears proof that this world would be a better place in which to live if greed could be overcome.